Brian here, lifestyle editor of Go Local Live. Welcome to our Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio. I'm here with Fred, Luca, and Danny, founder. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Good. Well, thank you so much for joining us and bringing some beautiful samples of your jewelry. This is, I love the tagline, Born in the USA. And you have a great story with you. So let's talk a little bit about how Luca and Danny was founded.
Sure. So I'm, I guess, technically third generation jewelry manufacturing. So my grandfather started a manufacturing business in Cranston in the 50s. My dad took it over. I'm born and raised in Rhode Island. And I made a high school, college time frame, I made a conscious decision that my passion was actually finance. So,
Who says that?
Yeah. So I liked, I had curiosity about financial markets. I wanted to pursue a career on Wall Street. So it's kind of funny. I'm today doing the exact thing that I told myself I wouldn't be doing, which is working with in the family business. Here in Rhode Island, raising a family, which is great. I love it here, but it's just funny. Sometimes life has these twists and turns where you end up where you didn't think you would be, but it ends up being a great experience. So we started the business about 2.5 years ago. The sort of story behind it is I had a younger brother who passed away from cancer. He was 33 years old. He died in April of 2013. He worked in the family business, so this was very much his passion. And if you've ever lost someone from either cancer or any other sort of life-changing event, one of the things that's difficult is you can't physically or tangibly impact the disease that they're fighting. So for me, what I hung my heart on was this business was important to him. Like many other jewelry manufacturing businesses in the state, it was experiencing a lot of difficulties because of the overseas competition. So I did kind of the crazy thing. I took 3 weeks off. I went back to New York. I walked into my boss's office and I said, I'm just done. I don't want to be here. And I packed my family up. At the time I had 2 kids. So Luca's my oldest boy, and then Stella's my daughter. Her middle name is Danny, which is my late brother's name. And I moved back to Rhode Island. I gave myself a year. So I spent 11 and a half months of that working in my dad's wholesale jewelry manufacturing business, which if you're here, I'd tell him the same thing. I hated it. I wanted to quit every single day. I interviewed with a bunch of hedge funds in New York. I'm like, please, someone take me back.
Someone take me so I can quit this.
Yeah, so I literally, true story, I gave myself a year, and literally about a year into it, this design that you see here with our core bracelets was an idea that I just could not kill. And through kind of a unique series of events, we started a brand around it, and we launched it in August of 2014. And then since then, it's been an absolute pleasure building a business. So,
and you really have built this, and you've talked about it. The idea of you can really tell someone's story based on looking at their watch. It kind of goes back to that. So you wanted to get back to that root of looking at someone and being able to tell someone's story, looking at what kind of person they are, what kind of story they're telling by looking at their watch or looking at their bracelet.
So again, my background being in finance, you'd get a bunch of predominantly guys in a room for a meeting, and everyone's buttoned up in suits. And really the only identifying thing that you could see with someone was whatever watch they were wearing. So if I saw someone wearing a Timex, I may not necessarily pay attention. Timexes are great watches. I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
But you know that they're a runner or a swimmer or something like that.
But if they had a Hublot on or any other type of super expensive watch, then you just sort of, you just intuitively knew that you probably needed to pay more attention. So when I came,
you get a feel for the kind of person they are. If they had a Mickey Mouse watch,
it's a statement.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you'd have a guy that was a global head of equity derivatives that had a Timex on just to be able to say, I'm a guy making X amount of dollars, but I don't need to. So it was, watches particularly in that industry were really a form of expression. And again, when everyone's in suits, it's really the only thing that you can see. So when I started to look at, and I think this is the benefit of going into an industry where you don't have any experience, I came in with a very objective, fresh set of eyes, and I said, listen, I think we cater predominantly to women. I think women buy this as a form of expression, whether it's a symbol. We've got a paw print, so maybe you have a pet that you're wearing it from. Or maybe purple's your favorite color because it was your aunt's favorite color. But whatever the reason for the purchase, most of those purchases were made because there's some sort of sentiment or some sort of meaning with it. And my viewpoint was, again, very objectively, like, why not put that front and center on the top of the wrist where everyone can see it? And I thought, and I feel more strongly about it today, I thought that that was a very innovative, I don't want to use the word disruptive, but in a way it was, way of constructing it. And that was the thesis. And then behind that, we had to engineer the product. So for us, what we found worked best is if we took designs and castings and we actually drilled 2 holes and were able to wrap it on. In hindsight, it's a very labor-intensive process. So
it's a pain.
It's a pain. It's a giant pain. But I think it creates this beauty. I mean, each piece is literally hand-wrapped by people in our factory. Everything is done locally in Cranston. Each person, and predominantly women who are doing the wrapping of it, each one does it a little bit different. Sometimes, if you buy during peak seasons, I actually may be on the floor wrapping it myself. So it's really, I really think it's, I don't want to say a work of art, but I think it's very unique relative to the stuff that we saw out there. So the genesis of it was taking existing symbols. So what's cool for me is we were able to leverage my dad's existing library. So like as an example, this angel wing, which is our top selling piece, that comes from, he actually developed this angel wing. We took it out of his catalog, we drilled 2 holes on it. Now you have almost like a chef that takes ingredients that don't belong together and you put them together in a certain way, and the output of that is something that's really spectacular. So for me, you'd never hang this angel wing as a charm. But if you drill 2 holes on it and you wrap it on top, now all of a sudden you've got something that's very unique.
It works.
Yeah, so that was the genesis of it, and then we expanded that out to have crystals. One of the things that we found, this is a new style for us. This is Brooklyn. So sort of parenthetically, I've got Luca.
Yeah, I was going to
Danny.
say, wait, don't you have 3 children,
3, yeah.
and there's only 2 names in this company?
Yeah, trademarking I've learned is very expensive. So Brooklyn gets a collection. He doesn't get a brand. Maybe chapter 2 he'll get something. But so Luca's my oldest boy. Stella, again, Danny's her middle name, is my middle daughter, and then Brooklyn's my 4-month-old son. So this Brooklyn shape is new for us. It's done exceptionally well, but it's actually a sew-on stone. So it's made by Swarovski.
Oh, okay.
It's got 2 holes in it, and they sew them onto dresses, tiaras, garments. And for us, it worked out perfectly because we were having difficulty finding stones that allowed us to do this wrapping. And to the best of my knowledge, we're one of the only companies, and we're probably by far the largest company that uses those sew-on stones for bracelets made this way.
So what's it been like to you? Do you think it's been to your benefit having a business and finance background and going into this? Because your business has done exceptionally well, especially over Christmas. You told me it was almost frustrating because you were in there, your company did so well, hand wrapping this stuff yourself. What has business been like for you, and do you think having that background kind of helped?
I think it does. I mean, my first job was in Dallas, Texas. I worked for a gentleman named Victor Sprandio. Victor was a very well-known, famous Wall Street trader who decided that he didn't want to sit in front of trading screens anymore. Took a lot of his investment philosophies and hard-coded them into algorithmic indexes. And he needed...
Sounds painful.
Yeah, it's
for a non-business person.
Yeah, there's a lot of minutia with it, but it was a revolutionary concept.
Yeah,
this was in 2003. I was hired basically direct out of college to help him build that business.
Wow, yeah.
And him as a mentor, he really taught me to really believe in yourself that you're going to be able to get things done. So I think my finance background is great, but I think what I learned from Vic in terms of, we had this idea that we were going to go out and we were going to try to basically build a business, build a category off of this index that we had. If you talk to anyone who's in derivatives in investment banks, the fastest growing segment of that business right now is proprietary indexes, which we arguably created. So I think that we've got this long-term vision. We know we're going to fail 1,000 times along the way, but we're going to regroup. We're always going to have that vision of what we want to do. We're going to be fluid to change things along the way if they don't work. To me, that experience I think has probably been the most beneficial relative to something else.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely helps, which is a good thing. I think the other thing is coming into an industry where I don't have any experience. I happen to believe that it's good because I come in with no preconceived notions. I look at something objectively. It either works or it doesn't work, or I think it could work and it's not working. It's one of those 3 outcomes. And so I think we were able to, with this business, I think part of it was we had good timing. I think luck in any business is always, you'd rather be lucky than not lucky. But
True for anything.
Yeah, for sure. Especially playing the lottery.
Yeah.
I think we've been able to really sort of focus on the goals and then be upfront and honest with ourselves. So like, hey, this isn't working. We can either change it and try a different course, or we can, bitch and moan about it and explain all the reasons why it's not working, or we can go ahead and fix it. And I think not having any experience with building a brand, doing any manufacturing, I'm in a trend-based business,
yeah,
and I'm a derivative salesperson by background. But I think all of those things, sometimes it's nice to go into something and not have any of these preconceived notions about what it should be like.
So you're coming, like you said many times, like with fresh eyes.
Yep.
And you did extremely well over the Christmas holiday, or coming into Valentine's Day. And I'm looking at some talking points here. You said your objective is to triple business in 2017. Is that outlandish goals, or you think you're on the right track here? I
think we're on the right track. A lot of it will be determined during the holiday season. I mean, that's for any business like ours, the holiday season is the biggest. We've got some supply chain issues that we're working on, but we're on track. I always like to sort of set the goal and then beat it. So, I don't want to say I'll be disappointed if we grow 2.5 times relative to last year, but really the goal is that's our glide path, and I want to stick with it. And I think everything that we're doing to grow the business, from product development to marketing to building up the team to building up the supply chain, all of that stuff is really focused on the goal. We want good growth. It sounds like an outlandish growth rate, but I think it's the sweet spot of where we want to be. We don't want to grow too slowly, but I don't want hyper growth. Mm-hmm. I don't want this thing to spiral out of control where we can't have proper customer service, we can't get things out the door, the quality gets, is not where we want it to be. So we feel like that's the sweet spot where we can manage every aspect of the business.
So what are you looking to do to hit some of those numbers, and what are some of those numbers you want to reach?
So a lot of it's based on digital advertising.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got, I think, a fantastic group of individuals that are running what I call the direct-to-consumer channel. So things like Facebook, Instagram, I think we're really cutting edge in terms of our approach to doing things to get people to notice the brand, and really catering the message of who we are as a brand, DNA-wise.
And it's a visual product.
It is.
I mean, it's visual.
Yeah, and Facebook, I think we've done some really cool things. I mean, Facebook is a great tool, but I think we've done some things that for us are really transformational in terms of taking that good tool and making it better. We've got now 4 internal salespeople for our wholesale team. I think they've done a fantastic job of really going out, curating the brand. So one of the things for us as a young brand, you rely on sales reps in the beginning. They may go in, they've got 10 or 20 lines that they represent. I think now for us, a lot of it is we want to take part of that, not all of it, but a big part of it internally. There's a difference I've noticed when we're communicating who we are as a brand versus letting someone else do it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big investment on our part, but basically to be able to communicate all facets of who we are as a brand to consumers, so they understand exactly who we are, what we represent, what we want to do with the business. This business is really, for me, it's not necessarily about jewelry, but it's an inspiring story. It's a platform for me, having gone through something somewhat tragic in my life, to be able to sort of pick and choose things that I can impact. So we partner up with charities, and we design things that have a lot of meaning. Like the piece on the bottom is actually the last piece that my brother and my dad made before he passed
that they
away.
Worked on?
Yeah, and there's a little card that comes with it that is, if you.
Oh, that's neat. So if you probably can't see, but it's 2 hands, and it says "Mom," and it's a heart shape.
And I was going to say, if you ever go to my parents' house, I don't know why you did my parents' house.
Maybe an invite. Okay.
On the wall, there's from 1983. It's the 3 kids.
Cool.
Their handprints, and then a poem. So what we did is on the card, we actually put that poem. So what's cool for me to be able to sort of either take my brother's legacy or my dad's family business, or just things that are important to me, and weave it into this platform, to be able to communicate that out to either end customers and or to retailers, I think is really important. So I think those things are, for calendar year 2017, are really transformational for us as a business, and I think they're going to get us to that number that we want, which I know you want, but I'm not going to disclose it.
Okay. We'll get that from you when you hit it and surpass it then.
Yeah.
All right? You'll tell us first?
I will come back next year, and I will announce it on Colico Live.
Okay, perfect.
That's a deal.
Deal. All right, we got it. We got him on camera. All right, Fred, as we wrap up, I just want to, you said online sales are closed for Valentine's Day, so we won't be able to ship it ahead of time, but you can get these products in some stores as well, right?
Yeah, so we've got a bunch of really great local retailers, so like Sweet Twist in East Greenwich, Flaunton, Smithfield, the Beat Sting in Coventry, Barrington Books in Cranston. We've actually got a store located on our website.
Perfect.
So you can go in there, plug in a zip code, and the only thing we'd say is call in advance because we want to make sure that if you're driving somewhere, they've actually got the
They
product
actually have it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Cool.
you so much,
Yeah.
Fred. It's great
Thank
to see you as always.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And we'll let you clean this up.
Okay, cool.
We didn't even get to showcase all of this stuff, but you can go on Luca and Danny website for more information on any of the products. They have bracelets, you have necklaces, chokers, because it's so 90s now, and earrings. So thank you so much, Fred.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. It's great to talk to you as always. All right, everyone. So that was some information on Luca and Danny. And for more information, you can check out our website. We do have some more articles on them.